What's up, guys? I'm Hannah Hammis. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what we typically get in our weekly grocery haul, some of our favorites from Trader Joe's, and then I actually am going to sneak in a few items that we didn't get at Trader Joe's but are staple items for us weekly. So without further ado, I'm going to kick us off here. I'm going to kind of go through everything, like group together the proteins, the carbs, and then fat sources. At least that's my plan anyway. I might not go through it that way, but we shall see. So without further ado, I'm going to get started and start with protein sources that we eat weekly. Okay, so protein. First thing you should know is that my husband is actually a pescatarian, so he only eats fish and he eats like alternative meat sources from Trader Joe's as well. I think that's like his favorite place to get alternative meat sources. So if you are pescatarian or vegetarian, you might want to check out the Trader Joe's section as well. I will show you kind of like typically the foods that he gets there. But here is what I typically get. I get the ground turkey. They also have really good like skinless, boneless turkey tenderloins that are really good. And I think the macros on those is like 1 gram of fat and like 28 grams of protein for 4 ounces. So that is a great source of protein. I didn't get that this week, but did want to mention that. Another one of my favorite protein sources from Trader Joe's is the pollo asado. It is super good. I think it's like $5.99 a pound, so it's a little more expensive, but I promise it's worth it. The like it's pre-marinated, so like the marinating stuff that they put it in there is super good. The macros, for those who care, it's 2 fat, 4 carbs, and 23 protein for 4 ounces. It's just like a Mexican type chicken, but I like to put it even just with like veggies and rice, just as like, I don't know, just a regular protein source. I just get really bored of just, regular chicken breast tenderloins if I don't marinate them or put like enough seasoning on them. So this is a really good way to get your protein in, especially if you're like me and get bored of regular chicken. For my afternoon snack at work, I know this is kind of weird, but I actually really like tuna packets. I really like the Chipotle and the sun-dried tomato and basil ones. They're also really good on rice cakes, or you can do like on toast or like in like a pita pocket with some lettuce, just as like a quick meal. For these, the macros, for those who care, it's 0 fat, 2 carb, and then this one has 15 protein and this one has 13. So I don't know, maybe this one has more seasoning because they're the exact same weight, but anyway, I like those. I also am a big fan of string cheese. I love cheese, first of all, and second of all, not all string cheese is created equal. And if you are like me and you like string cheese, you probably know this, because like the string cheese at Kroger, the other grocery store we usually go to, it doesn't taste like this string cheese. Trader Joe's string cheese is where it's at. We also, this isn't a staple item for us, but we got the everything but the bagel seasoned smoked salmon. So I think, well, this obviously looked amazing, but I think we're probably gonna put it on like avocado toast, because like I said, Eric is pescatarian, so this is something that he will eat as well. It looks really good. The macros, for those who care, says the serving is 2 slices of salmon, and which is 56 grams, and for that it is 3.5 fat, 0 carb, and 11 protein. So I'm excited to try this out. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put my handle here, and I will let you guys know when we try it out. But yeah, it looks amazing. Other protein sources. This week we didn't get them from Trader Joe's, but we typically do, or we have in the past. But eggs, we really like the brown eggs, so yeah, I just feel like they taste better and the yolks are like yellower. Anyway, personal preference. This isn't from Trader Joe's as well, but we have gotten it from Trader Joe's in the past. We're big fans of cottage cheese. Eric eats cottage cheese like with almost every meal, I swear. one thing you probably know about me if you watched my last video, but I'm really weird and my favorite food is literally yogurt. So yogurt, these aren't from Trader Joe's this week, but we always stock up on yogurt. Trust me, I got more than 2. I think I got like 12. Anyway, another thing from Trader Joe's is the fat-free feta. I like to put this on like eggs or even just like sauteed veggies. I'll put feta on top. Just, I don't know, I love cheese. Another protein source is this fat-free plain Greek yogurt. So typically I will use this in place of like sour cream, or sometimes when I make like my spaghetti squash bowls or just like pasta in general, if I'm making like an Alfredo or a cheesy based like sauce, I will use the fat-free plain Greek yogurt to make it like thicker but use less sauce, if that makes sense. And it's also just a good source of protein and probiotics. So next group that I'm going to do is carbs, but before I get into that, I'm going to mention the protein sources that my husband eats as a pescatarian. So obviously he eats a lot of fish, like shrimp, fish, whatever, but he also eats a lot of like this beefless ground beef from Trader Joe's, and I've tried it. It doesn't necessarily really taste like ground beef, but it has a similar texture and it's actually really good. For people who care, the serving size is 2 ounces and the macros are 1 fat, 4 carbs, and 9 protein. And then he also really likes this soy chorizo. It's really good with eggs. And the macros, for those who care, is 10 fat, 11 protein, and 9 carbs for 71 grams. So that's like 2.5 ounces. This is really good, I promise. It's kind of weird that it's soy sausage, but it doesn't have the same texture as sausage by any means, but trust me, it's really good. This is a different protein source that he also eats, and I mean, I also eat, but he eats more than I do. Black beans. We eat a ton of black beans in general. So we get black beans. He eats a ton of refried beans, but he gets the fat-free kind from Trader Joe's because literally the only ingredients are cooked beans, which pinto, red, and pink beans, and then water and salt. So super good ingredients there. Kidney beans and more kidney beans. Like I said, he eats a ton of beans. Not like too much where, but as a pescatarian or someone who doesn't eat meat, it's really important to make sure you get your protein from other sources. So he will have those. He also will do like a smoothie in the morning or something with protein powder. So good ways to get protein in there. So next I'm gonna go use that as kind of a transition into the carbs, because obviously beans are great carb sources as well. They have a ton of fiber. Like for example, for black beans, in 3.5 ounces of black beans, it is 6 grams of fiber. So that is a ton of fiber. And for the refried kidney beans, it's half a cup is a serving. So that's like 130 grams, and that has 7 grams of fiber. And then again, kidney beans, 6 grams of fiber. So great fiber sources there. I'll show you the other carb sources that we typically get. Okay, so before I get into the carb sources, I actually realized there's one more protein source that is like a staple for me that I didn't mention, and that is egg whites. Yeah, you can get them at any grocery store. I'm pretty sure you can even get them at Trader Joe's, but we typically get them at Costco when we go, because you can buy like a 6-pack for like $8 maybe. It's way cheaper than you can get them anywhere else. So that is something that we eat a ton of. Okay, so carb sources. I'm kind of going to break this down into like produce carb sources and then starchy carbs and then maybe like frozen carbs, because we eat a lot of carbs, because carbs are not the enemy. Okay. All right. So first things first, didn't get these at Trader Joe's this time because we were already at the other grocery store and these were on sale, but strawberries and blackberries. We eat a ton of berries. Well, I eat a ton of berries. just as a snack or in smoothies, whatever. I just love fruit. So while we're on fruit, grapes. I love crunchy grapes. Very particular. I typically prefer red grapes, but the red grapes were a little too soft for my liking this time, so I got green grapes. Grapes are, I don't like just sit down and eat grapes, but like sometimes I'm just feeling snacky, you know, like you open the fridge and you're like, oh, I want something, but I don't know what. I don't want a full meal. And that is great for me because I'll literally just like stick my hand in and just have a few grapes, and it just kind of holds me over until my next meal. It's sweet and satisfying. So good little hack there. Next up, more produce. We eat a ton of broccoli and cauliflower. We didn't get broccoli because we still had some left over from last week, but we typically get them at Trader Joe's because you can get them like, you pay for like the head of cauliflower or the head or the broccoli florets as packaged, like, so this is one price. And sometimes when you go to other grocery stores, it's by the pound. And if you pick a big one at Trader Joe's, it's less, because if you pay by the pound, then you're like, oh, this cauliflower is $10 when I can get this cauliflower for like $2.99 at Trader Joe's. There's a hack for you. So broccoli and cauliflower. Also, this isn't from Trader Joe's like I mentioned, but this was on sale while we were at the other grocery store, just like some rice cauliflower. So I steam this in the bag and I'll just prepare it and just have it throughout the week. We got some salad mix at the other grocery store because it was on sale. We went there before Trader Joe's. Otherwise, we would have got salad mix at Trader Joe's. Mushrooms. We eat a ton of mushrooms. We just eat like a ton of vegetables. It's not uncommon for us to just literally throw a bunch of vegetables in a pan, and then if we're having like Mexican, we just put some like taco seasoning in there, and then I prepare like my chicken ahead of time, and I'll have my chicken with that, or he will prepare his soy chorizo ahead of time and then throw that with black beans in with all the veggies. It's super easy and it allows us to have meals together, even though I eat meat and he does not. Anyway, back to the food haul. Mushrooms, and then flying carrots. Anyway, carrots, again, we just throw those in the like veggie mix that we make. I also really like to make roasted vegetables, which I haven't done in a while. I made cauliflower last week, but roasted carrots are bomb.com. Onions, those usually go in the vegetable mix. Zucchini, again, usually go in the vegetable mix, or sometimes I'll just make it as like a side with like mushrooms, zucchini, and onion, and just saute that with like some garlic salt or seasoning salt. Yum. That's kind of it for, well, I got some spinach at Trader Joe's, but I mean, spinach, salad mix, whatever. And that's kind of it for produce for this week. We still had some leftover from last week. But other carb sources that we eat a ton of, sweet potatoes. Love sweet potatoes, both of us do. So much so that we got fresh sweet potatoes, but then I saw this at Trader Joe's and obviously I needed to have it because yum. Mashed sweet potatoes with pecans. So super excited to try that. I'll just probably have that as a side with like some chicken or some ground turkey or something. And then one of my favorite things to get at Trader Joe's, and especially during the fall, is squash. This is delicata squash, and you literally just like roast it. Oh, it has directions on it. Preheat oven to 400 degrees, slice squash in half lengthwise, and de-seed, and then roast for 15 to 20 minutes. And you can eat the skin on this hack, so it's even easier than like you have to scrape the squash out of this. But these are so good, and it's actually relatively low carb, and for those who give a crap, but I actually like to put like cinnamon and stevia on it and make like a sweet squash. I don't know, I'm weird, but it's so good. And I love squash at Trader Joe's because, again, you pay per squash, so like you can pick out a big one and it's like 99 cents, whereas if you're at a different grocery store and you pay by the pound, it might be 99 cents a pound, and then you pick one that's 2 pounds and it's not 99 cents anymore. Anyway, again, do the same with your spaghetti squash, because this I think is like $2 at Trader Joe's, and you can get it for like $1.50 a pound at other grocery stores where you're gonna pay a lot more. I love spaghetti squash. Okay, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that, and you know that I will make it in many different ways. All right, I think that's mostly it for the produce that we got. I will show you the other carb sources. Okay, so more carbs. These are mostly Eric's, but I've tried them and I can promise you that they're good. Asparagus risotto. So he typically just will make this and then just have it as like a side with a bunch of different meals that he has. I don't know, it's good, promise. If you see that at Trader Joe's, get it. The macros, for those who care, there's 3 servings in the bag. A serving is a cup, and it's 4 fat, 26 carbs, and 4 protein. It's good. Also, this is his Hatch Chili Mac and Cheese. I don't know. It looks good. The serving size is half the container, and a serving is 10 fat, 30 carbs, and 11 protein. But you know what I got? It's this reduced guilt mac and cheese from Trader Joe's. I've had it before. I promise it is bomb.com. 1 container is a serving, 6 fat, 40 carbs, and 15 protein. And I'll typically just have it with like another protein source on the side or something, but it is really good. Other frozen items that we got. I haven't had this yet this year, but I've got it like the past 2 years, is this rice cauliflower stuffing. So it has carrots, dried cranberries, leeks, onion, and celery. It is pretty good, and typically when I make it, I just have like this, and then I will mix in like ground turkey into it. It's pretty good. And there are 4 servings per container, and the serving is 0 fat, 13 carb, and 1 protein. And then, along with the fall theme, I got this rice, cauliflower, and butternut squash risotto. I got it like a few weeks ago as well, and I posted about it on Instagram. It's good, but it's not great. Like, Trader Joe's makes phenomenal items, so that's what I'm comparing it to. It's really good, but not as good as some of their other stuff. It just doesn't have enough flavor for me. So I think it's like, I had this one risotto from Aldi's when we lived back in Iowa. Sad that we don't have Aldi's here, but it was like a pumpkin risotto, so it was like a fall themed risotto, kind of like this, but it had more of like a, not cranberry, like, but there was some cranberry. It was more like cinnamony, I guess. So kind of like a sweet and savory, and that was really good. And I guess that's like, this has hints of that, and so that's what I'm comparing it to, and it's not that, but it's still good. So for what it's worth, I bought it again. So that, and then this is a staple for me, rice cauliflower stir fry. So if I'm feeling like super lazy, I will just throw this in the pan and then add like an egg or some egg whites or some chicken, depending on what we have, and make this as a full meal. I typically just eat the entire bag as a meal. The bag has 4.5 servings, 2 fat, 7 carb, and 2 protein is a serving. So 4.5 times that, whatever that is. Other carb sources that we got, well, before I get into that, I will also say that I usually get the cauliflower gnocchi from Trader Joe's, but we went to 2 Trader Joe's today and neither had them. And our typical Trader Joe's location told me like 2 weeks ago, or maybe it's a month ago now, I don't know, maybe it's longer than that, whatever. They told me that they're on like a 1 case ordering limit from their corporate, but I still keep seeing people getting it on Instagram, so it makes me really sad. But I haven't been able to get it for like 2 months, and I had some saved in the freezer, but I'm all out and it makes me really sad. Anyway, if you see it, get it. I promise you won't regret it. Make it in the air fryer like I did a few videos back. I showed you how to do that, so go back to that if you have questions, but I promise it's worth it, and if you get it, I'm really jealous. Anyway, moving on. Tortilla chips, because we love chips and salsa. That's all I have to say about that. And then pita chips, because I like this with like other dips, which I'm actually going to show you the other dips that we get from Trader Joe's because we still have some left over. But these pita chips are baked, not fried, so that's why I choose these. They say reduce guilt on them, and I hate that that's Trader Joe's marketing, but it is. But they bake these instead of frying them, so that's why I choose these. And I will show you the dips that we also get, but before I do that, I need to show you this so I can put it in the freezer. Ice cream. So this is the Trader Joe's, it's like their light ice cream, so kind of like their Halo Top or Enlightened. There's 3 servings per container. There's 100 calories per serving, and the serving is 2 fat, 13 carbs, and 7 protein. And this is like, it says JoJo's Cookies and Cream, but it's like their Oreos Cookies and Cream or whatever. So good, you guys. So freaking good. I like the cookies and cream better than they have a chocolate peanut butter one. It just tastes like light chocolate ice cream with a little bit of peanut butter in it. It's not that great. I promise this one's good. Get this one. So next I'm going to show you, I actually wasn't intending to do this part of the video, but I'm going to show you the dips that we usually get from Trader Joe's or have tried, or ones that are good. And then also a few other sweet fall items that we got at Trader Joe's that are to die for, and you need to get them before they're sold out. Okay, hang on. Okay, so more important Trader Joe's items for you. Let's do the dips first. So this tomato basil hummus dip and roasted garlic hummus. We didn't get these this week because, as you can see, we still have some left over, but love chips and hummus, like those pita chips that I just showed you. That's typically what we will use for these. And then also this reduce guilt, I hate that, like I said, but spinach and kale Greek yogurt dip. The macros are 2.5 fat, 2 carb, and 1 protein, which is like a lot less fat than you would see on most like spinach dips, but this is pretty good as well. And we typically eat this with like pretzels or those pita chips I just showed you. And then this cashew fiesta dip. So it's basically, I thought it was like gonna be like a queso type dip, but it's kind of like a hummus. I don't actually know what it's made out of. Well, duh, cashews. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so it's more of like a hummus type texture. And it's not really cheesy because it's, you know, dairy free, but cashews, potatoes, carrots, onions, green chili peppers, tomato paste, sea salt, vinegar, garlic powder, and jalapenos are the ingredients. So like really clean ingredients. It actually tastes really good. Like I said, it doesn't taste like cheesy, but it's kind of cheesy and it's good. Okay, so I eat that. I think I was eating this with like those pita chips. What else did I eat? Some tortilla chips. Yeah, it's good. And then this queso dip, we eat this with tortilla chips mostly, or put it in like taco salad. And oh wow, now that I'm looking at this, it actually has really good macros for those who care. Serving is 2 tablespoons, 0 fat, 3 carbs, and 0 protein. So what is even in this? I don't know. Cheese blend. It's good. It's not as thick as like most quesos, but still it has like a queso-y taste and it's good. Cinnamon bun spread. This is not healthy, I promise, but it is so good. It's like it says it's a honey butter base. My voice is cracked. Honey butter base spread with cinnamon bun spices. It literally tastes like the middle of a cinnamon roll. Like that gooey brown part, like the cinnamon. Yeah, that's exactly what this tastes like in a spread form. And I ate it with pretzels. I was trying to think. You could also put it on like toast or something. It'd be really good. Anyway, that's good. Other Trader Joe's items that you need. These are almost gone, but the cornbread crisps. Okay, I saw these at Trader Joe's a few times and I was like, I don't need that. It sounds good, but I don't need that. Well, Then they had them in like the little sample area with like in tomato soup. So good. So good. Once you try them, you need them. I also like them with, like, you know those little Laughing Cow wedges? Like if you just like dip the cracker like into the little cheese wedge, it's really good that way too. Last two items that you need for fall. Pumpkin JoJo's. Trust me when I say it's literally like a pumpkin frosting sandwich between two crackers that you must try. And then, other item that you need that's not healthy whatsoever, petite pumpkin spice cookies. It's basically, okay, so it says shortbread cookies with pumpkin spice and yogurt coating, but it's basically like those pink and white animal crackers, but covered in pumpkin spice greatness instead of pink and white frosting. So get these. And they say petite, so that means they're healthy. Just kidding. Okay, that's all, guys. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any Trader Joe's favorites that I did not mention. Let me know in this video so I can try them out, because I'm a big fan of Trader Joe's and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for following. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.